Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul for you guys. I bought more than average number of books in the month of November. It was my birthday. I used that as an excuse. There were also like a bajillion sales because of Black Friday and things leading up to Black Friday, so I have a lot of books. So the weekend of my birthday, there was a new bookshop that opened in downtown Chicago called The Dial. They are in partnership with this bookstore called Pilsen Community Books, which I went to for the first time last December, and it's gorgeous in there and so great. And so they opened up a second location called The Dial in the Fine Arts Building in downtown Chicago in the Loop. So if you were ever in downtown Chicago, I highly recommend checking it out. It's absolutely gorgeous and wonderful. It's mostly used books. They also have some new books as well. So anyways, they had their like grand opening the weekend of my birthday, and I was going to be in the Loop anyways. So my friend and I went to check it out, and it was great, and I picked up a bunch of books, obviously. So first up, I have Washington by Ron Chernow, which you guys are aware that I picked up to read for Nonfiction November, and so I was reading it, I was enjoying it, I knew I wanted a physical copy eventually, and then I saw it at the bookstore, and so I decided to just buy it, so I did. And then I was like just browsing the nonfiction biography presidential U.S. history section in general, because I was looking for the Washington biography just to see if they had it. And then I saw that they also had John Adams by David Mccullough, which obviously I want to continue reading presidential biographies, and so John Adams is next up on the list. And so I picked this one up because, one, I've read David Mccullough before and I've enjoyed his writing, but I've also heard that this is just a really great one. And then I picked up two John Steinbeck books. I picked up Travels with Charlie in Search of America and The Pearl. I've been slowly collecting these editions of John Steinbeck's books, and I haven't read these two yet, so I was excited to see them both there at the used bookstore instead of having to pay, you know, like full price for them at Barnes & Noble. So yes, picked both of these up. I love these editions of them. They're the Centennial editions. They're sold in basically every US bookstore, but I usually don't see them at used bookstores. So yes, that was exciting. So I picked those up. And then the next day I ended up going to Half Price Books because they were having their sort of week-long big sale where every single day they had like a different percentage off a single purchase. So on the day that I went, it was like 40% off. And then I also like brought books there, so I had store credit. So technically these didn't even cost me anything. So the first one I picked up was Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. I read this last year, but I got it as a library book, and I've been meaning to pick it up, but I knew like eventually if I was just patient, it would show up at a used bookstore, and I was patient and it did, so I have this one. I also found a copy of Commonwealth by Ann Patchett, which I am super excited about. This came out, I think it came out in 2016. I don't completely remember because I feel like these paperbacks are relatively new. I was personally waiting for it to be released in paperback, and then I was like, well, at this point, again, Ann Patchett books always end up at used bookstores, but I didn't expect to see it so soon, so I was very excited when I saw this one. I've heard really, really good things about this one, so I'm excited to read more Ann Patchett. I also found a copy of Mice and Men, which I've already read. I read it when I was in high school, but I've been wanting to reread it. I have my like tiny high school copy of it, which is like the mass market paperback edition, but again, I'm trying to collect all of the Steinbecks in this edition of it. And then I was browsing through like the mystery section, and I got really excited by the next two books. The first one is A Study in Scarlet Women by Cheri. This is sort of like a play on the Sherlock Holmes story and world. In this story, you are following this girl named Charlotte Holmes who, you know, is extremely smart. She finds out that like her family is in this bad position, and so in order to clear her family name or family member's name, I'm not completely sure which, she starts investigating to figure out what exactly happened, and she takes on the name Sherlock Holmes because obviously a woman during this time period in London is not provided quite as many privileges as a male is, so she takes on this sort of like pseudonym. So yeah, I've heard really, really good things about this series. And then the last one that I got from Half Price Books is The Perplexing Theft of the Jewel Crown by Rgime. This is the second book. The first book is The Unexpected Inheritance of Inspector Chopra, which has been on my like library hold list in terms of like ebooks for quite some time now. I'm waiting very patiently to get that one. I don't know that much about it except that in the first book it has to do with like the disappearance of a baby elephant, which is why there's an elephant on all of the books. And I believe that elephants like play a theme in all of the books, maybe. I don't know, I haven't read them yet. And it also takes place in Mumbai, India, so that's another reason why I wanted to pick it up. So yeah, got these, very excited. All right, next up I have a couple of books that were sent to me by Dutton Books. The first one is The Spinning Magnet. The subtitle is The Force That Created the Modern World and Could Destroy It by Alana Mitchell. This is a nonfiction book actually, and it talks about electromagnetism, and so it talks about like the poles and how the whole thing works and how the poles supposedly might be like flipping or switching or something along those lines, and how that could, you know, destroy everything that we've created in our world, which, you know, great uplifting topic here. And the next one that I was sent was Too Close to Breathe by Olivia Kiernan. This one doesn't come out till April, so there's a pretty good chance I won't read this until closer to the release date. This is a mystery that takes place in Ireland. I believe it takes place in Dublin or near Dublin. So in this story, there is this young woman who is found hanging by a rope, and the main police officer's name is Frankie, and she just like wants to declare it a suicide to make it a very easy, simple case, but the clues aren't adding up the way that they should for a suicide, and it turns out that something's just like slightly off. So clearly there's more happening here than meets the eye. So yeah, this one sounds really interesting. I like the fact that it's not set in the United States. And yeah, we'll see if I enjoy it or not. All right, and then a couple of books I bought over the Thanksgiving here in the United States weekend because Black Friday sales. The first one I picked up is Eleanor Roosevelt, The War Years and After by Blanche Wyson Cook. If you watched my nonfiction November tag, you would have seen me talking about these biographies, and this is volume 3, and I'm very excited to read it. Yeah, there's like a trilogy set of Eleanor Roosevelt biographies that I really, really enjoy. This is the 3rd volume, obviously, and it follows the last third of her life from 1939 to 1962. Then I got The Sixth Extinction by Elizabeth Kolbert. I have a very hard time saying that title. This is a book that I've been wanting to read since it won the Pulitzer Prize, I think in like 2012 or 13, maybe 14, I don't know, a couple of years ago I won the Pulitzer Prize, and I've been meaning to read it ever since. I've heard really, really good things about this one, so I picked this up. It's also related to my New Year's resolution, so there's a fun teaser. And then I picked up a copy of Hunger by Roxane Gay, which I read in November, but I got it from the library and I loved it so much I knew I wanted my own copy, so I just bought it. Alright, and the final thing that I have to show you guys is the thing I'm probably the most excited about. If you follow me on Instagram and you watch my stories, you would have already seen this, but I was extremely lucky and was sent this copy of Ms. Marvel Volume 1, which is the Japanese edition. The story behind this is that I saw this cover on Twitter, like when it was announced that this was going to be one of the covers for Ms. Marvel Volume 1, and I was just like over the moon about it, but it was just one of those things where I was like, it's only being released in Japan, how the heck would I ever get a copy? So I just was going to admire it from afar. And then someone at Book Riot was like, hey, I have a friend in Japan, do you want me to have him send a copy over to the United States and I can send it to you? And I flipped out. So this is what it looks like. This bottom part comes off, so it looks like this. On the cover, oh, it's just so beautiful. This is what it looks like in the back and the inside. So this like comes off, it's a slip cover, even though it still is a soft cover, and this is what the cover looks like, which is like amazing. And then the inside is just like the regular comic, except in Japanese. They also got it signed, which is just amazing. So yes, this cover is a variant cover designed by Shigeto Koyama, who has done a bunch of different like anime work in Japan. He also did the concept art for Baymax and Big Hero 6, so he has like that as like his biggest probably credit in terms of like name recognition here in the United States. But yeah, I love this cover so much. It makes me so happy to have it, and with this they even included like a single page that's just the cover, so I can just like frame that and put that up somewhere. And like I can't even with this, like I can't believe I actually have it. I'm so happy, so excited, and literally only because of the wonders of the internet is this a thing that I currently own, and so great. I'm so happy. So yeah, that's everything that I have for you guys. Feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know if you have any questions about any of the books that I highlighted here in this video, or if you've read any of these books and you have any opinions on them, feel free to leave that down in the comment section, or if you want me to read any of these sooner rather than later, definitely leave that down in the comment section as well. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.